reclining on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. And we'll do dynamic bridge to start with. And we're going to begin to lengthen the inhalations here. Can you see me all right? Looks like, I think. So as you inhale, we're going to press into the feet and lift the hips. So making sure the feet are hip width and comfortably close to your bottom. So on an inhale, press into the feet. Hips will rise up towards the sky into bridge. And the arms will come overhead towards the floor. They don't have to touch the floor. And as you exhale, bring it all the way down. And we'll begin to increase the length of the breath. So inhale for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And exhale freely. And then we'll do for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Free, exhale. And for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Keep it going. Exhale, inhaling 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. And on your last one, I'll let you count. You'll inhale for 8. So slowing down that inhale, becoming aware of the breath right into the body. Free exhalation. Good, and then go ahead and come up one more time. You can leave your hands by your side if you like, or if you like them overhead, you can keep them up there. And we'll hold bridge pose for a little bit. So keep the breath flowing evenly in and out. Inhale and exhale. Feel the breath moving in the chest, in the throat. And on your next exhale, go ahead and release all the way down. Pause. And then go ahead and roll over onto your hands and knees. Coming to face the front of your mat. Then we'll do just a little bit of cat-cow before we come into downward facing dog. So a little cow pose on your inhale. Lifting the chin, the chest, the sit bones. And as you exhale, tucking the chin, allowing the chin to drop, tail tucks, spine arches up. And as you exhale, or I'll get it right. Inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. Just one more time. Inhale into cow. Just a nice spinal massage. And exhale into cat. Last cow pose here. And after this, on the exhale, we'll dig the toes in, lift the knees up, moving into Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog, lifting the knees up, hips moving up towards the ceiling in an inverted V. Go ahead and hold that for a few breaths. Nice long spine. The knees can be bent a little or a lot. More important is to get length through the spine. So push into the hands as if you're pushing the floor away and lengthen through the spine, through the frontal body. One more deep, full breath. Notice the abdomen as you breathe. Good, and when you're ready, begin to walk your feet towards the hands, making your way. It might take a step or 2 or 3. And then take your hands onto your hips and we'll come all the way up to standing into mountain pose. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of a standing pose flow. It won't be flowing like a vinyasa, it won't be a fast flow, it'll be moving from one pose to the next, so we'll take a few breaths. Okay. All right, so from the front of your mat-ish, we're going to move from triangle to right angle to half moon to warrior two, and we'll square it up into wide leg forward fold. So you may want a block or a book to place your hand on, or even a chair seat. Okay, so if that's helpful, have something that you can use for your balance pose. You're welcome also, if you have a dresser nearby, you can lean against the dresser or a wall. Okay, so we're going to start with Trikonasana. So from the front of your mat, take a sort of a medium size step back with the right foot. We'll start with the right foot coming back. Make sure that your back leg is a little bit internally rotated, the back thigh, and the toes are pointing a little bit towards the front of the room, front of your mat, and just a little bit of softness, a little micro bend in the front knee. So on an inhale, arms can rise, shoulder height, a little bit of a hitch back of the hip, and then tilt the pelvic bowl, lowering the left hand towards the leg. Maybe it's high up on the leg, maybe it's lower down. Find a place that will work for you. I'm going to just turn myself so I can see you. Deep, full breaths, really feeling expansion here, as this is an enlivening practice, and perhaps you can begin to increase the length of the inhale. You could keep the hand pressing up towards the ceiling, or you can reach it over the ear into this extended version, reaching back into the back foot and reaching out through the hand. As you exhale, there's a little bit of a rotation above the navel, through the chest and thoracic spine, rotating up towards the ceiling-ish. So lengthening the breath, maybe the inhales are becoming a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just sort of a longer inhale than normal. With your next exhale, let's take that top hand up and over onto the hip. Keep yourself in triangle pose. Turn your head and look down, and we're going to bend the front knee. You might like to fix your stance by making it a little longer. Okay, so we're coming into side angle, and we're going to take the right hand up and over the ear, or you can sweep it through the front to get length. An alternative is to take the hand straight up towards the ceiling, or you can leave it on the hip if you have shoulder issues today. Try not to collapse in the bottom shoulder. Reach through the back foot. Find your inhale again. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, navel draws in. A little bit of rotation happening again. One more breath. Take that top arm all the way up and onto your hip. Turn your head to look down again. We're going to move into half moon, Chandrasana. So turn the head. This time we're going to slide the back foot forward a little bit. So you might inch it forward or slide it forward. If you're using a block or a book or a dresser, go ahead and reach for that. The block's going to be about 8 inches in front of the front foot. And you press the back foot towards straight. Take it easy, find your balance first. You might lift the back leg a little or a lot. You might get rotation, external rotation in the top hip. You might take the hand up, but please feel free to leave it down on the hip. Your hand could be on the floor if that's where you're at with this as well. Deep full breaths, lengthening the inhale, expand on the inhale. And then we're going to come into warrior two. So bend the front knee, begin to rotate, allow the back foot down, adjust. settle into Virabhadrasana 2, side facing warrior. I'm looking at you, but you can look at the front hand, strong, powerful warrior. Full breaths in and out, in and out. Really noticing the breath. If it feels like it's straining too much, make it a little bit easier. We're going to push the front leg straight. Good, and we're going to turn ourselves to the long edge of the mat now. So the toes will point to the long edge of the mat. We'll take the hands onto the hips. Inhale, length, back of the neck long. Exhale, forward bend, coming into wide leg forward bend. So moving into a forward bend, help to calm the breath. A little gentle inversion. So go ahead and keep it going, just keep folded. You can take the hands to the floor or the legs if you like, or blocks or books. And from here, let's inhale up halfway. So you might come onto the tips of the fingers here, or the blocks, or maybe the hands are on the legs. And as you exhale, navel draws in, allow it to draw you forward into your fold. On an inhale, lift all the way halfway again. Exhale, fold. With an inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. And this time, pause the breath out for a moment. Belly in, breath out. On an inhale, push the belly out, lift halfway. And exhale, fold, and take your time down in your fold. Now we'll take a few breaths there. Perhaps you're having a gentle pause at the bottom of the exhale. Good, just for another breath. Great. Imagine you're spreading the feet apart. Slight bend in the knees. Inhale, bring it all the way back up to standing. And rather than have you facing the back of the mat, going the opposite way, we'll all step to the front of the mat again. So go ahead and step to the front. Find Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel your feet under you. Feel solid. Notice the difference from side to side. We did 4 poses, asymmetrical poses on one side. That's quite a lot. So we need to balance up the body. So we'll take the left foot back now. So you'll step the left foot back. I'm going to turn myself around so you can see me better and I can see you. So left foot back in a sort of a medium-sized step. It doesn't have to be super wide. Back thigh is going to rotate in a little bit and the back toes in a little bit. Inhale the arms. Shift the hips back just a little and tip your pelvic bowl. So the pelvic bowl is tipping the bottom hand. The right hand will come to the leg. Anywhere. It can be high up or it can be lower down. See if you can get length through the underside waist and find some expansion here. So just breathe and enjoy. And again, your option here is to take the arm over the ear. Trikonasana. Finding this beautiful expansion, strengthening, stretching. The exhale gives you a little gentle rotation. Good. From here, take the top hand back down to your hip. Turn your head and look down. We're coming into side angle. Trikonasana. We'll take the right elbow onto the knee. You can adjust the feet a little if you need to. You can straighten up and come into it if you like. Sometimes you need a little rest on the thighs. Don't sink into the shoulder. Allow yourself to lift out. Rotate with the exhale. Left hand on the hip or above the shoulder or over the ear. Inhale, length. Press into the foot. the back foot and the hand. And on the exhale, there's rotation, just gentle micro rotations happening. If your neck is healthy, you might look up, but you can look straight ahead if you like. Top hand comes back to the hip. Turn your head and look down. We're going to slide the back foot forward. We're moving into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, having your block at the ready. We'll slide forward with the foot or step forward. Press the front leg towards straight. Hand on the block or the floor. Reach out through the back heel. Reach out through the back heel. Externally rotate the hip. The left hand can stay on the hip or come above the nose. You might gaze to the side or keep your gaze on the floor. Use the navel, the exhale, drawing in to support the core. We're going to take this now into our warrior two. Bend the front leg, rotate up, stepping back. Exhale into warrior two. Allow the breath to come back into an even keel here. Your gaze can be over the front hand, imagining your warrior. We need those warriors right now. Strength and stability. Good. Press the front leg straight. Turn to the side of the mat one more time, to the long edge. Take the hands onto the hips. Inhale, length. Exhale, fold forward. This time, if you like, you could take the hands to the floor, or you might take them behind your back. And clasp the hands, or if it's difficult to clasp the hands, you might just reach them behind, or you can clasp and reach them up and over. Inhaling length through the arms, through the neck. Exhale, gentle rotation. Allow the gaze to come to an easy spot, so not trying to look up. Lengthen the back of the neck. Release the arms. Good. Hands back to the legs or the floor. Bend the knees. And we'll bring it all the way back up. Pause here. And just rest. Okay. Then we'll do a few short lunge salutes. Okay, I believe we did this last week too. So go ahead and step to the front of your mat. I'll change mats here. You can see me a little bit better. So if you like blocks for the hands on this, please feel free to have blocks or books, or again, a chair works really good, the seat of a chair or a stool. It just gives you a little more space in the hip area, so there's not as much compression in the hip, which is really nice if you have tightness in the hips or hip replacements. This is a nice alternative to reaching for the floor. Okay, so let's try this together. So just warming up the body and opening the hip flexors here and opening up the upper back for some back bending. Inhale the arms up and overhead, perhaps a slight lift of the upper chest, upper back, and as we exhale, fold forward. The hands can come forward or they can sweep out to the side and forward. Inhale and step the right foot back, dropping the knee. If that's not comfortable, stay right here, knee up, reaching forward. If you're comfortable, knee can come down, arms can rise up. Good. Exhale, we're coming right back into forward fold, Uttanasana, stepping forward, fold. Press into the feet, rise all the way up. Back to standing, exhale through the center. back to the heart. Inhale, arms rise, lift the chest. Exhale, fold. Step the left foot back this time. Knee down if that's comfortable. You can have padding back there. Arms rise. One nice smooth breath. Step it forward. Standing forward fold. Uttanasana. Press into the feet. Soften the knees. Rise to stand. Back to mountain. Exhaling, hands to hearts. Let's try again. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, fold. Right foot back. And again, your choice, knee up or knee down. Your choice, arms down or arms up. Back to Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Press into the feet. Rise, long spine. And back to the heart with the exhale. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Left foot back. Anjanasana. Good. Take it forward. Back to standing forward fold. Press into the feet. Rise to stand on the inhale. Exhale, back to the heart. And we'll pause for a moment. Find Tadasana again. Short lunge salutes. It's like a short C series. Okay, so we'll move into chair pose. We'll try and find something to sort of even up those hips. Counter pose those hips. Prachakriya. So inhale the arms and we'll exhale into chair pose. Find your chair pose. Lengthen with the inhale. Collarbones rise. And as you exhale, lengthen the tail. If this is difficult for the shoulders today, you can have the arms straight out or you can have them in the hip crease. Okay, we're going to do a fold here. Inhale, collarbones lift. Exhale, sweep the hands, fold over the legs. So the knees are still in chair pose, but you're folding over the legs of the chair. Inhale, back to chair. Great. Exhale, fold. Chair fold. Inhale, back to chair pose. Exhale, fold. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, fold. Hands to the floor. Go ahead and move into standing forward fold. Lengthening the legs now. You could stay here if it feels good to have a little movement in the hips today. You might do some sways from side to side, if that feels good. Good. And then we're going to step back to downward facing dog. So hands to the floor, step the feet back, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a few breaths, lengthening through the spine. Okay, go ahead and lower the knees. Come all the way into child's pose. Knees together or knees mat width if that's comfortable. Either one is fine. Knees together tends to give a bigger stretch to the spine in terms of rounding. So sometimes that feels really good on the spine, but sometimes knees apart feels nice on your hips. You don't get the rounding in the lower back, and sometimes that's more what you need as well. So you always have a choice. Invite yourself to take the choice that feels best for you. Okay, then we'll try Dolphin Pose. Strengthen the upper body, which is also very energizing. So if this you can move into it and right out again. So really listening to your shoulders and what they need today. If this isn't happening for you today for any reason, just rest in child's pose. We're not going to be here for very long. Or you might come into downward facing dog again if you want another inversion, okay? So we'll be here for 3 to 5 breaths, so your choice. Again, if dolphin's not happening today, try child's pose or downward facing dog. So if you're doing dolphin, we're going to come onto the hands and knees, and then elbows and knees. Elbows directly under the shoulders. I want you to reach around and make sure you can get the fingertips around the elbows. And then just sweep the hands together. So now you've got a tripod. If you're very open, and this is part of your practice quite a bit, you might find that you can have the hands separate, like Sphinx, and the forearms will be parallel, but they need to stay parallel. Try not to let them, what happens is the thumbs will come in and the elbows will slide out, and that's not very good for your shoulder girdle. So this is usually a little safer. We're going to switch the knees a little bit closer, dig the toes in, and lift the hips up. So kind of like that inverted V again, only from the elbows. Imagine you're pressing the forearms and the wrists down into the floor and towards each other. The head is not touching, usually, depending on the length of your humeral bone and your neck and head, that ratio. Whenever you need to come down, but you have time for a couple of more breaths here if you like. Lengthening through the spine, perhaps you're able to walk the feet a little closer. If it feels too much on the shoulders, then walk the feet a little bit further away. You want to feel like there's a hollowing out in the armpit. So that's that sense of drawing the arms towards each other and pressing them down will help. Okay, go ahead and lower the knees to the floor. Rest in child's pose again and pause. Really notice the breath. So there's this lovely reading in the Radiant Sutras about the breath. So when you're ready, come all the way up into Hero Vajrasana. You're welcome to sit on a blanket or a block rather than the heels. If that's uncomfortable, we'll just be here for a moment, just resting. And I'll give you a short reading while we're there. Enter these turning points where the rhythms of life transform into each other. Breath flows in, filling, filling. In this moment, drink eternity. Breath flows out, emptying, emptying, offering itself to infinity. Cherishing these moments, mind dissolves into heart. Heart dissolves into space. Body becomes a vibrating field, pulsating between fullness and emptiness. So when we're doing yoga, we aren't just moving the bodies, we're really trying to use the breath within the poses. So this sense of this fullness of the inhalation, this vastness, and then this sense of emptying, and sometimes it's drawing inward and to the midline of the exhale into ourselves. So just really paying attention to the breath. It is an important part of the practice. And we're going to move now into plank pose. So go ahead and slide forward onto your hands and knees. And let's see if we can find a steadiness of breath here. If you start to shake and strain, drop the knees. Okay, we're not going to stay in plank too long. We're going to go from plank to side plank. And you'll have variations. Plank is here. Full plank is here. But plank might be here and here instead. Okay, this is beautiful version, and it is strengthening as well. It's not as straining. So find the one that it works for you. So from your hands and knees, dig the toes in, lift the knees. Imagine you're drawing the hands towards each other. Gather in the navel, get strong through the midline. Exhale. Good, and then we're going to roll it over onto the side of the foot or the knee. So you might be here. Okay, full plank or knee down plank. Deep full breath. Again, we're going to take it all the way down. You can drop the knees if you like, or you can move it right over, other side, arm up, perhaps knee down, opening, opening, hip lifting, hip lifting. Good, beautiful. Take it down, back to center. Good, drop the knees. Ooh, let's take a rest. Child's pose. That's a lot of work for the shoulders. So if you like child's pose with the hands down by your heels, this is a perfect opportunity to really rest the shoulders. See if you can find an increase in the inhalation again. Just pause. Smoothing the breath out. So probably feeling more exhale right now. Let's see if you can even it out a bit. Okay. Then walk yourself back up to hero and all the way back up onto the knees. And we're going to come into gate pose. Okay, so let's slide the left foot out. So I'm facing the long edge of the mat, but you don't have to be. It depends on where you're at in your room. So I've got my left leg out and I want to get my hip in line with my knee. When I'm on this side, for some reason, I tend to sort of take the hip inside the knee, and I want to get it right in line with the knee. And then plant that left foot strongly so you're really stable here. Inhale the right arm up. Now we're going to reach and extend the side bend over to the extended leg. So slide the left hand down the leg and lengthen through the intercostals. So really let's increase the inhale a little bit here. Increase to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, stay there. And then maybe 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then exhale up, release. We're going to take it all the way to the other side. So go ahead. You might put your hand on a block or a book, hand to the floor. And so we're sort of in that kind of that side plank a little bit again. But this time we're going to change it up. We're going to lift the back leg and we're going to bend it. So you might just reach for it. You don't have to grab it. If you can grab it, that's fine. You can open yourself up and open the heart, shoulder blades towards each other. It's kind of like a half kneeling and half bow pose. Good, and then release, lengthen the leg, lower it. We're going to come all the way back up. And release the arm. And then come back onto both knees. Shake it out. We'll do the other side. So now my right leg is out. And I'm going to really line up the hip with the knee. And really plant the long leg. Really plant that foot so that everything stays very stable. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale over. Sliding the hand down the leg. Inhale length for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, stay there. If this bothers your shoulder, you might have the hand on the shoulder or even on the rib cage is fine, or the hip. You can still get the lengthening through the intercostals. You guys must have done the 6 count. Good, bring it all the way up. release. And we're going to take it over to the side. Hand possibly to the block or the floor. And then we'll take the leg up. And you probably feel that engage right away. Bend the knee. You can keep it there. Or you might prefer to just keep the leg long. You might like to catch the foot if that's available and open up the heart. Good, and release. Release the foot. Down to the floor, bring it all the way back up. And release the arm. Wonderful. Good, and release the knee. Ooh, that was nice. So downward facing dog, please. Just briefly, we're going to use it to move into Pigeon Pose. So you are welcome to come onto your back to do Pigeon, and I'll demonstrate both for you if you're unfamiliar. Toes into the mat, lift the knees. Downward facing dog, Hatha Mukha Svanasana. Create some length. Maybe take an extra breath to really draw the navel in towards the spine on your exhalation. And we'll take the right knee forward behind the right wrist. And then you line up your shin where it's best for you. Some of you might have it almost parallel to the front of the mat. Some of you might have it almost straight back. So find a place that your knee is happy. And then you might walk the back foot back a little bit, and we're going to just stay up for a little bit. So find a little external rotation in the shoulders and the upper arms. Maybe imagine that you're drawing the front knee and the back knee towards each other, just gently. Allow the heart to open, as if it's just softly unfolding. The sun has come out here again, so flowers will be happy. Rain and sun in one day. And we'll take it forward now. Go ahead and lay it out. And then those of you that perhaps this wasn't available for, could be on your back, taking the right knee ankle onto the left knee and drawing the left knee towards, or if you're doing it on the other side, that's fine. Reclining pigeon. Sometimes also called threading the needle. Enjoy the breath here, just really allowing the breath to come back into a nice smooth and even Samavriti breath. Smooth and even and regular. Nice. Good. And then let's press into the hands. If you're prone, press into the hands. Step into the back foot, lifting up, releasing the front leg. You might take that back leg up into three-legged dog. Those of you on the floor, go ahead and extend both legs if you're on your back. Extend both legs to lengthen the hip flexor. And when you're ready, we're going to move into the other side. If you're in the prone version, you're going to take the left knee behind the left wrist and adjust your leg into its most comfortable place. If you're on your back in reclining pigeon, I'm going to take the opposite ankle onto the opposite knee, and you might or you might not draw the knee towards your chest. Those of you in prone can keep it in seated version for a little bit, opening. So just get a little bit of back bend here, and this is going to help us open for the next few poses. Lengthen, perhaps drawing the knees towards each other gently, just a gentle engagement. Feel the navel drawing in and releasing on the inhale, drawing in on the exhale. Notice the breath, paying attention. When you're ready, go ahead and come down for a few breaths. Releasing yourself out of the back bend. Pigeon pose is just wonderful to open the hips, but it's not available to everybody. It's quite strong in compression of the knee and in the hip. So you can get as much out of the reclining version as the prone. We want happy knees, so we have to listen to the body. Full breaths. Even, smooth. Beautiful. Okay, and then we're going to come out of this. So again, you might walk the back foot a little closer. Dig the toe in. Come onto the hands. And then push into the hands. Lift the hips up, releasing the leg, perhaps taking the leg up. If you're in the reclining version, go ahead and lengthen both legs along the floor. Finding extension in the hip flexors. Good, and then we're going to all come onto our fronts, onto prone. So if you're in downward facing dog, just shifting forward into plank, shift forward, perhaps dropping the knees, maybe not. Shoulder heads stay up, lower down, relax. And I'm going to mostly talk you through this so that you don't have to look at me. Okay, so we're going to move into Cobra first. So you can take your hands down by your side. Actually, I should turn myself this way. Hands down by your sides. Roll the shoulders, lift the chest and the head. Cobra pose, baby cobra. Exhale down. And then begin to lengthen the breath just a little bit. So 3, 2, 1, lifting. Exhaling, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. And we'll try with snake pose. We'll lift the legs as well. Inhale, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Keep that going. Inhaling up. One more. And then release down, turn the head to the side, and pause there, please. From there, bend your right knee and reach back for your right foot. We're just going to stretch the quadricep, the front of the thigh, preparing for bow pose, or the Tadasana. So when you're ready, just give it just a gentle pull. Don't over compress the knee, just make it comfortable for you. If you're not feeling anything, sometimes it helps to imagine you're lengthening out through the knee, or even lifting the knee just a little bit. Sometimes that gives you that little extra stretch. So if you're quite flexible there already, you might need to do that little extra bit. And then release that leg slowly with awareness, as if there's a teacup on your foot that you don't want to break. And we'll do the other side. Take the other foot up. And give it a gentle pull. If it's harder to reach, sometimes rolling onto your side a little bit, you can get a hold of it, and you can lay on your side to do this as well. Just a few breaths, just calming breaths, even equal breaths. So not extending the inhalation here yet. Great. And then release the quadricep. Release the foot. Relaxing. And pause. And then we'll move into bow pose. If bow pose isn't working for you today, you could do snake pose. So lifting the legs and the chest and just extension rather than bending the knees and grabbing the feet. Okay, so your choice. It can be done in either version. So if you're going to do bow pose, you're going to reach back and grab the ankles or the feet, tops of the feet. Rather than let the feet wobble out like this, take them in. They might touch, they might not, and they might separate again when you come up, and that's okay, but just see if you can keep them sort of in alignment with your hips. Good, and on an inhale, roll the shoulders, lift the chest and head. And on the exhale, maybe lifting the legs. Inhale for 3, 2, 1. Exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale, stay. Inhale. Exhale, stay. One more breath. And release. Slowly down. Release the feet as if there's teacups there again. Soft release. Turn the head to the side or take your hands under your forehead. Allow the breath to come back into a calm version. Okay. When you're ready, push all the way up. Hands and knees coming into hero pose, just like this again. Vajrasana briefly. This is just a shift into seated pose. I'm not going to put you in a forward bend right away. We're going to come into a seated twist before we finish the asana section. So come on to your sit bones. Take the right leg into extension. A little bit of dorsiflexion in the foot. Slide the left foot towards your bottom. Some of you might like to take the foot across the extended leg. And if you're healthy in the knees and your hips allow it, you might like to take the extended foot and take it to the opposite hip. Okay? So if you're here, you want to be sure to get this foot on the floor. It's not, the sole of the foot is not out to the side. It's actually on the floor, pressing down. Okay, so this is fine. This is fine. Find the version that works perfectly for you. Okay, I'll show it like this, but if you're in the both legs bent version, that's fine. We're going to take the right hand, so the opposite hand to the top knee. Hold the knee. Take the other hand behind you. Inhale, length. Get really tall, and don't just use the hand to help you lengthen. Use the strength in the pit of your abdomen. Back of the neck is long. Inhale, length. Exhale, rotate from the navel up through the torso. Inhale, length. Exhale, rotate. Try not to use the hand so much as using the breath to rotate. The hand is just there to sort of help you, support you. Some of you might find it more comfortable to wrap the arm around the knee. Some of you might find it more comfortable and still feel open in the collarbones to take the elbow to the outside of the knee. But don't use it to over torque. Again, it's all in the breath. All in the navel drawing in. Head and neck follow gently, and even the eyes follow the twist as well. For the last couple breaths here, allow the awareness to reside at the third eye. And then staying where you are with the body and the legs, allow the head to turn to the front. And again, awareness at the third eye. And then allow the twist to release. Coming forward. Taking both legs forward, and we'll do that on the other side. Slide the right foot in. Again, the foot could be on the inside of the thigh or the outside of the thigh, and the extended left foot could be beside the right hip. So your choice. If you're taking the foot over, you want to make sure the sit bones are touching the floor. So again, this time left hand onto right knee, so the opposite hand onto the top knee. The other hand, my right hand, is going to come behind me. I'm going to use that to help support my torso, but I'm also using the strength in the abdomen to lift and lengthen. Inhale and exhale, navel drawing in towards the spine, rotating above the navel, through the chest and thoracic spine, neck and head followed gently. Using the breath for the rotation. Don't expect to have the same rotation on both sides. Be gentle with yourself. Be respectful of this body you've been given. Head and neck long. Gaze or awareness or sense at the third eye. And for the last couple breaths, keep the body where it is. Just allow the neck and head to turn to the front. Gaze can be open or closed, but awareness again, or sensation at the third eye, midbrain area. And then allow the torso, the body, to release forward. Release the legs. Good. And we're going to come into a reclining to finish the class. So go ahead and turn. I need to turn. Go ahead and lower yourself down. Elbows onto your back. Just come into the restful position with the knees resting towards each other. Allow yourself to just settle into the back. And then draw the left knee into the chest and then the right knee into the chest. Knees to chest. Inhale, release the knees a little bit away. Exhale, draw the knees in. This time, inhale, push the feet up towards the ceiling. Take the arms overhead if that's available for your core. And an exhale, release. The hands could stay by your side. Let's do that again. Feet to ceiling, arms overhead. Exhale, release. One more time. Reach, and we'll hold this one, just a couple extra breaths. Feet reaching, the knees can be bent if the core is a little more unstable, or you can really reach the heels strongly. On your next exhale, release everything. Knees bend. Notice the feet touch the floor. Be aware of every little bit of foot that touches the floor. Feel the feet. Relax the belly. Relax the lower back. Maybe wobble the knees back and forth. And I want to give you this 5 or 10 breaths to do whatever you need to do for the body. So just releasing the body in whatever way, whatever shape or movement that might be, before moving into corpse pose, Shavasana, the last shape of the class. You might like to have that blanket handy or pillow for under your knees, especially if you're feeling any lower back tenderness. Take your time. And then move into your Shavasana. You might like a blanket. You might like a towel or a blanket under your head. Put your head on. And you might like the pillow or the rolled blankets for under your feet. If you have extra blankets, sometimes a nice heavy blanket just settled across your midsection, your thighs across here can feel really nice. It just sort of helps to ground you. So if you're feeling a little bit ungrounded, that can help a little bit. If you have an eye bag, please feel free to use your eye bag. I'm going to sit up through Shavasana to guide you through it. So go ahead and take a few deep breaths, inhaling and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. One more deep, full breath. Inhale deeply. Sigh the breath out. Inhale and exhale. And then begin to notice whatever's touching the mat. The whole back body, from the heels, the legs, the hips, shoulder blades, the backs of the arms perhaps, and the back of the scalp. And then invite the front body to relax into the back body, and the back body to relax into the support of the mat, the support of the earth. With every exhalation, make the exhalation an invitation to let go, to relax. Bringing the awareness into the toes and the legs and the hips, torso, abdomen, chest, shoulders and arms and hands. And finally bringing the awareness into the throat, into the jaw and the mouth. And invite softness in the jaw and the mouth. Invite release, letting go. Invite a softness into the eyes, as if you can make them just a little bit smoother. As if you're gazing at something or someone beloved. And then bring the awareness into breath and just allow the breath to soften and relax. Just allow yourself to let go of all control of the breath. Just watching the breath. Watch as it flows in and as it flows out. Notice the subtleties of the breath. How the rib cage moves. The subtle connection of the rib cage in the pelvis. The subtleness of the breath in the roof of the mouth, perhaps, or the back of the nose. Go ahead and watch the breath. I'll watch the time. And then go ahead and wriggle the toes and the fingers, bringing yourself back into body. Perhaps gentle, deeper breaths. And when you're ready, roll yourself to your side, pause for a breath or two, and then come to seated. We'll finish the last few minutes in seated in just a little gentle stillness, quietude. And again, this Radiant Sutras, another verse on the breath. At the end of the exhale, breath surrenders to quietude. For a moment you hang in the balance, suspended in the fertile spaciousness that is the source of breath. At the end of the inhale, filled with the song of the breath, there is a moment when you are simply holding the tender mystery. In these interludes, experience opens into exquisite vastness with no beginning and no end. Embrace this infinity without reservation. You are its vessel. And we'll finish with our hands in Abha, Hirdaya, Mudra. And take the backs of your hands together. Hook the little fingers around each other. Hook the ring fingers around each other. Skip the middle finger. Hook the index fingers. And then we'll take the middle finger and the thumb to touch. And just take those in front of your heart. And just pause. And I'll chant the mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu. You're welcome to join me. Loka Samasta Sukhinu Bhavantu. Om Shanti. Om Shanti May all beings have peace and harmony. May all beings be free of sorrow. Let's be kind to one another. And this mudra is a fearless heart mudra, and it is to help us act with courage from the heart. Namaste.